Hey guys, it's Upa here. So today let's talk about Marius. And Marius actually isn't the current dungeon that we have. You can see that the event only starts in about 1 day from now. But I did decide to record this video early, and hopefully I'll be able to upload this also slightly early, so that on Thursday when we do get an update, which is also the same time this event comes out, I will be able to cover the event related stuff instead, which would be the new arcane gem and so on. Anyway, let's talk about Marius. So of course we're covering stage 41 and above, which is when the boss gains different skills and becomes quite a bit more difficult. So let's take a look at what he does together. So I've already taken a look at what he does, and I'm gonna start off by reading his special force skill because his entire kit kind of revolves around this. So you can see this skill is called Arctic Field, and let's skip the first sentence first. Marius creates a freezing field and deals 250% attack damage to all enemies with a 50% chance to inflict freeze. So if he already has a freezing field created, which basically means if he gets to use this special force skill a second time, then this attack will just insta-kill your team. So the way to remove this freezing field buff that the enemy Marius puts on your heroes, or just this freezing field which he creates, the way to counteract that is by dealing detonation damage 4 times in total. So the rest of his kit kind of revolves around freezing. So now let's go back to his basic attack. It just does some damage, and then you can see if Marius has a freezing field, for every 1 layer of frost mark owned by the target, reduces their turn meter by 15%. So we'll also take a look at what this frost mark does as we go through his skills. And it also does a 100% chance to inflict 1 layer of frost mark for 5 turns. His second skill, he summons icicles from the sky, dealing damage. If he already has a freezing field, there's a 100% chance to inflict 2 layers of Frostmark, and this ignores shield, damage immunity, and immortal. And lastly, for his passive, he gains some damage at the end of each of his turns. It's pretty standard for bosses. And while the freezing field is open, he gains these extra bonuses: increased crit rate, increased effect hit, and damage resistance, and increase his own damage dealt. At the end of enemies' turns, they have a 100% chance to be inflicted with 1 layer of Frostmark for 5 turns, and each layer of Frostmark reduces your speed and your freeze resistance by 20%. And when Frostmark is inflicted, it refreshes the duration of all current Frostmarks, which by default lasts 5 turns. So when Frostmark is stacked to 5 layers, all of them will be converted into freeze, and this cannot be blocked. So there are 2 main parts of his kit. The first part is this Frostmark thing where he tries to stack Frostmark on your heroes up to 5 times, and when he does, your heroes will be frozen. And that's kind of annoying, but the main part that you do need to focus on is this freezing field part, which not only buffs the rest of his skills while active, but more importantly, if you are unable to remove the freezing field by dealing 4 detonation damage, then he will just kill your team instantly. So let's take a look at the recommended teams that they have, and you will see the following trend. You will either see exclusive 2 and above Big Jack, or you will see heroes like Chelsea. So the reason why you're seeing these 2 heroes is because they deal detonation damage. And let's take a look at Big Jack first. So Big Jack needs his exclusive 3, particularly because of this ability you can see here, where every time the ally with Spotlight, which is a buff he gives one of your allies, or one or more of your allies, casts a basic attack, Jack and Roll will additionally cast his own basic attack to the same enemy. So what Jack and Roll's basic attack does is it does detonation damage, which makes dealing 4 times detonation damage, which is required for this boss, very easy if you have Jack and Roll at exclusive 2. Another option which other players use is Chelsea at exclusive 2, or exclusive 3 rather, and that's because at exclusive 3 you can see that the damage that she deals is considered as detonation damage as well. And in my case, you can see I don't actually have either. I have both characters, but I don't have Jack and Roll at exclusive 2, and I don't have Chelsea at exclusive 3. So what does this mean? So the other alternative, if you do not have those characters or characters which explicitly deal detonation damage, the alternative would be to deal the burn debuff on enemies. and when you deal 2 instances of burn onto the enemy boss, it will be converted to detonation damage. So let's take a look at the burn tag, and not that many characters actually deal the burn effect. So you can see none of, like, Sotra, for example, doesn't deal burn effect itself. She does burn damage, but she doesn't inflict the burn effect on enemies. Chelsea doesn't either. She has this Undying Flame, which doesn't count. And neither does Heart. So I was looking through my heroes and I realized I didn't have anything to actually use for this boss. So I ended up building my Anna. There are better options. I think something like Moloch at exclusive 3 would be better. You can see it does a whole bunch of detonation damage as well. But the main thing you're looking for is either, like I said, explicit detonation damage, or if you don't have that, characters which can deal layers of burn. So I leveled Anna for this reason, and also so I could use her for the Wizard's Eye faction. So, you know, even though she's not a good character, I didn't really... it's not a completely bad choice for me to build her, since at least I'll have 2 places where I'll be using her. That being said, you know, I don't want to waste my scrolls on her, so I did not level her skills. She really is just here for me to hopefully be able to deal detonation damage, or rather deal the burn effect twice, and then that will allow me to inflict detonation damage. So besides Anna, some other options you can consider is Andreas. You can see Andreas here has detonation damage as well. Moloch, like I said, and I'm sure there are others which I don't mention, but you just need to read burn hero skills and see whether they do detonation damage. So I think Eric might do some as well. If you can just take a quick look. Okay, unless I'm missing something, I actually think he doesn't do detonation damage, but he does inflict burn effect, which is also an alternative, as I've said. So this is the team that I'll be using. If I can find our Anna, this is the team I'll be using. And let's skip ahead to the boss itself and see how it goes. Alright guys, so now we are at the Marius boss, and the boss is going to start the fight by creating the freezing zone. You can see over here, this special force skill. And then we will have a 3-turn window, basically, as long as it takes for him to get his skill back, for us to deal 4 instances of detonation damage. So without Big Jack at exclusive 2, so exclusive 1 or 0, you can use his basic attack for 1 instance of detonation damage, but unless you have him at really high speeds, you're probably only going to be able to use this basic attack thrice before the boss cycles back to his skill, which is why we have Anna here. But let's start off with speed up for the team. Let's shield up. Let's use special 2 to recast our Eratos special 4 over here. And as I mentioned, Anna is only on the team to deal the burn effect on the boss. So I did forget to mention at the start, but I did build her with really high effect hit. So you can see I have 190 effect hit on her, which is pretty solid. I actually didn't care about any of her other stats. I just only really focused on effect hit. I just gave her my Moricus gear actually. And since all the skills, I believe, or actually, so her special 4 does detonation damage itself, and her basic skills, her special 2 and her basic skill gives you a chance for inflicting the burn. So while there's downtime on this special 4, you can use her basic and special 2 for burn, which is why you need the effect hit. But anyway, so let's just use a basic attack. We managed to get the burn effect, so we only need 1 more to trigger detonation. And hopefully I'll be able to show you that the next time she takes a turn. Let's shield up with our Necrolith. Let's use our Eratos special 2 here. You can use Necrolith special 2 again. And in fact, the burn effect went away. I wasn't really paying attention. I'm not sure how that went away, but not a big deal. Let's just use her special 4 and deal detonation damage. So if you've been counting, I believe I've only used Big Jack's special basic attack 1 so far, so I've done 1 detonation damage. This will be 2 detonation damage. Let's use basic attack again, so this will be 3. And now we actually only need to use our Big Jack's basic attack one more time, and it should count, if we've done our math right, as 4 total detonation stacks dealt. And as far as I can tell, there's no actual indicator for us to keep track of how many we've done, which is not really a good thing, but let's hope our math was right. So basic attack with Big Jack, which dealt our 4th layer of detonation, and he's about to use his skill once again. So if we've done it right, we should have successfully removed the freezing field, and when he casts this, we shouldn't die here. So let's cross our fingers, and yeah, so we successfully managed to avoid dying by removing his freezing field. So now we just have to keep doing this, and okay, so hopefully we will get our burn trigger over here. You can see the boss already has 1 burn stack here, and when we attack Marius again, when we dealt our 2nd burn onto Marius, instead of us seeing, you know, like 2 stacks of burn over here, it instead gets triggered as detonation damage. So now let's speed up with Big Jack. So we've done 1 stack of detonation so far. Let's use our shield. Basic attack. Marie. Let's use our 2nd detonation damage. Let's do our 3rd. And finally, let's do our 4th, which is done by dealing 2 stacks of burn once again. So now the frost field should be gone. And this means that our damage with this skill should deal more because he no longer has the 75% damage rest, which is exactly what we did. What we saw, the damage was a lot more than what we were doing just slightly earlier. And now let's... what's our cooldown on our Irato? Let's check. So it's still at 2. Maybe what we can do here is we can just buff our Irato anyway, get rid of her cooldowns. And once again we survived, and that's, as I said, because we managed to successfully deal enough detonation stacks. So let's keep going. 1 detonation. Let's use our speed up here first. So give burn, still 1 detonation stack only. This is 2 detonation. Let's see, let's just use basic here. 3 detonation. And the next time our Big Jack takes a turn, will be our 4th detonation stack dealt. So this is number 4. And this means that his damage resistance should have gone down, which means when we deal damage with Irato like so, we should deal a lot of damage. So yeah, good damage dealt there. Now we continue the process. So this will be 1. This will be 2. Just use Irato skill here. This will be... let's speed up first. This will be 3 detonation. This is 4. And now we should be dealing a lot more damage. And mainly, Irato is our main damage dealer here. So let's buff her with Spotlight. Let's use her Special 4. The damage is higher as we expected. And okay, so we're still alive. As long as we don't die whenever the boss uses his Special 4 skill, it means that we were successful. So let's just keep going. I'm not really sure if we're going to actually be able to kill the boss in time. But anyway, this is just here to... We're just here just to try and show you guys the mechanics of the boss, and hopefully you do have better heroes than I do. So 1 detonation stack. 2 stacks. Three stacks. Shoot up. 4 stacks, and now we can do damage. And this is a good opportunity because we can attack again with our Irato before he gets his shoot back. And now he's gonna give us the Frost Zone again, so repeat the cycle. 1 stack. Let's speed up. Nicolith is kind of messing our Irato up because normally Irato's special fall will have no cooldown, but because of the recasting, it does trigger the Irato's special fall cooldown, so it's a bit of a downside. So I think we had 1 stack, I kind of lost count, so 1 stack now, 2 stacks. Let's just use her special 2 here. Three stacks and 4 stacks. Now we can deal damage with our Irato. And unfortunately we didn't have the enough speed to act before he recasted that skill, which is quite a shame. So whatever, let's just use a skill. We need a kind of brute force of damage now. Let's do 1 stack. Speed up. 2 stacks. Three stacks. And 4 stacks. So now we can deal damage. Let's use Irato special 2. And yeah, it's quite clear to me at this stage that we are not going to be able to do enough damage. So let's talk about why I'm not dealing enough damage. So actually Irato is sufficient to be the sole damage dealer, and I'll show you the team some people are using at the much higher stages of Marius. The main issue that we have is actually because we're taking too long to do our 4 stages of detonation. So like I mentioned, having something like a E3 Chelsea would be much better, or using something like Moloch, which does a lot of detonation damage, will also be better. But like I mentioned, I'm using Anna here because I also want to use her for Wizard Eye Faction Abyss, and she definitely isn't the best option for this boss, but suffices for me to show you the mechanics of the boss. So besides that, if you had Big Jet exclusive 2, this will be a whole lot easier. You can put your spotlight on every character on the team, and after that you basically don't have to care about this detonation mechanic at all, because Big Jack will just pursue an attack every time. But unfortunately, when you don't have the very specific tools that you need for this boss, it can be quite difficult, and that is to be expected because this boss is this content rather is extremely late game content. Even to farm stage 40 dungeons, I would say you are kind of a mid-game to end-game player already. You do need to have some pretty solid teams, and to farm beyond that, well, it's just a whole different animal in terms of the heroes that you need. Or not just the heroes, but the builds as well. So yeah, I'm definitely not going to be able to clear it within these 40 remaining turns, so I'm just going to exit the fight from here. But I do believe that I have been able to showcase the mechanics of the boss. And before we end the video, let's just take a quick look at other players' progress on this boss. So let's see if you can see that some players have actually beat stage 50, which is great. And you can see the teams is pretty similar to what I use, except because they have exclusive to Big Jack and above, they don't need to run any other detonation damage dealers. It's all done by Big Jack. So I think we should see a very common trend for the rest of these high stages. Everyone's basically using the same team. If we go further down, still all the same team, exclusive 2 Big Jack and above. That seems to be the bare minimum. And I'm kind of looking for the earliest stage where someone doesn't use a Big Jack. So over here we see no Big Jack, but does have exclusive 3 Chelsea. And I'm very sure that that this Chelsea was built with really, really high speed for sure. Otherwise, it would have been really difficult to clear it. But yeah, besides that, you know, everyone's using exclusive 2 Big Jack. And yeah, without him, it seems that the highest stage you can really go is 44. So, okay, we still have over here using Chelsea even at stage 45. Of course, exclusive 3 is required if you're using her. And okay, still at stage 46, he's using Chelsea. That's really great. He does have the Divine Griffin pet, which I'm sure helps a little. But yeah, so at stage 47 onwards, the only option you can use is Big Jack at exclusive 2 and above. And you can see all these players are extremely late game players. So, you know, even if you can't beat stage 41 right now, like I can't because I don't have the tools needed, or rather I haven't built the characters that may work, I don't think it's a big deal. But like I said, you don't actually need to use E3 Chelsea or Big Jack exclusive 2, at least for these lower stages. You just need characters which can consistently deal detonation damage, and then you can have a supporting damage dealer like Irato to deal the main focus of the damage once you've dealt with the detonation mechanic. So yeah, another really difficult boss in terms of the characters you need, and once I get my Chelsea to exclusive 3 or my Big Jack to exclusive 2, this will be a lot easier. But yeah, that's all we have for today, and I'll see you guys next time.